back to Ultima 7, the Black Gate and Forge of Virtue. So we are back in Britain, having returned from Vesper, where we picked up our ship, and now we're actually going to head back out sort of in a similar direction to Minoc, and get some quest prompts out there before we explore some other areas. So Minoc, just pull up the map. We're currently here in Britain. This is Minoc in the far north. And this is Pause here, where we've already been, and this is Vesper. So we're going to go sort of in a similar direction. We came out of the cave, I believe it was, and sort of could have gone north towards Minoc, or could have gone east towards Vesper, and we went east. So we're going to head back that direction and go north. Don't love that drone sound of the Hoe of Destruction. I don't really remember it either. Because otherwise, I really like the music. It's very nostalgic for me. Ooh. Let's go hunting. Sorry, dear. I find it worth it to kill the animals. Excuse me, at least some of the animals, because some of them give you a fair bit of food. So one deer fills almost all my party, which makes sense. It's a deer. Something's nearby. Crocodile or alligator. No chance.
Do you really know where you're going, Avatar?
I think so. Let's see where we are now. I'm pretty sure that those prompts from the Guardian just come out at more or less, not necessarily at random, but with just sort of mess with you. Okay. Doo-doo-doo. I wonder, there's probably some fun stuff in this forest. Let's not mess around. Let's get to Minoc first. Where's this go? Sure we're not wandering off in our own direction. No, we're almost there, in fact. Headless. To the death. Ooh, Minoc. Minoc, having a tough time with those headless, are ya? Ooh. We'll take those. Ah, we made it. What? Just go in. Locked, eh? Third time? Alright, it needs a key. Is it this key? Yeah, actually we are. A key. Ooh, silver serpent venom. That seems sketchy. We'll be taking that. Whoops. And a book. Britannia Mining Company. Log, iron ore 30 tons, lead 24 tons, iron ore 27 tons, BR 2 tons, lead 14 tons, lead 37 tons, iron ore 26 tons, BR 3 tons, iron ore 31 tons. BR. So we know that there's shady things. Oh, headless. Hang in there, Shimino. I should hope so, guys. Ooh, and they have more nuggets. We're just getting a ton of gold in the last couple minutes here. Hello. You see a young, bewitching gypsy woman with wise, soul-peering eyes. Name, Margareta, at thy service. She speaks slowly. Job, the gypsy woman smiles slightly. To tell thy destiny. Destiny? The fortune will cost thee 20 gold. All right? Yeah. Margareta takes your money. The gypsy woman peers into her crystal ball. I see a woman standing by a shrine. She is in love with thee. I do not see more on this subject. Oh, right, that's, I forget her name. The crystal ball is very murky. I see that thou must join the fellowship if thou wantest to learn more about them and discover their true nature. Ugh. It is not very clear. Ah, yes. There is a new evil that threatens Britannia. I see that thou shalt have to reckon with it in the future. The crystal ball tells me that the ether of the world, the substance that controls magic, has been affected by this new evil presence. I see further that this evil presence will gain greater power during an event in the near future. This event has something to do with the planets. Seek out a man at the observatory in Moonglow to learn more about this. I see that he has a device which will be very useful to thee. See him soon, for this event is drawing near. What is this? I see. Thou dost seek a man with a hook? He is not thy true adversary, but finding him will be necessary to complete thine ultimate quest. Wait, I see that thou must seek audience with the Time Lord. He is in trouble, although I cannot see what the trouble is. The Time Lord knows much about this evil, so do not fail to seek him out. To find the Time Lord, thou must first meet the Wisps who live in the Forest of Yew. They are thy best link to him. The monks of Empath Abbey may know how to contact the Wisps. The ball has grown dark, I see no more. Margareta looks up at you and says, Thou dost face many dangers ahead. Take care. With those words, Margareta slumps and closes her eyes to rest. She is obviously exhausted. Farewell. Go in peace. Okay. So we spoke to a gypsy woman who told us a bunch of things and then seemed to validate herself to us by seeing that we also seek a man with a hook. She told us to what was the first thing? Oh, go to the observatory in Moonglow to speak with the Time Lord, which in order to do so we needed to speak with the Wisps in the Forest of Yew, and in order to do so we needed to speak to the monks of Empath Abbey. All of that is a lot. But it's really all just one big quest that really starts with speaking with the monks. So, interesting. Who else is here? That was useful. You see a swarthy gypsy with soulful eyes, dressed in colorful clothes. He looks as if he has the weight of the world on his shoulders. Name? I am Yergi. Pleased to make thine acquaintance. Job? I am the king of the gypsies. Gypsies? My people have almost completely died out in this world. Now that I am their leader, I am making their welfare my sole responsibility. Soon I will decide if we will leave Minoc. Minoc? Our people came here because we thought we would be accepted. It seemed for a very long time that we were. But after these savage murders, it looks like it is time to roam, for us to roam once again. Murders? Federico was mine only brother, and no one loved Tanya more than I did, save for Federico himself. What happened to them was unspeakable. I wish I could tell thee more. If thou wishest, thou mayest speak to Sasha, but only briefly. Now is the time for him to mourn. Sasha? He is the son of Federico and Tanya. He left us to learn more about the Fellowship. Of course he feels responsible for what happened. Responsible? We do not blame Sasha for what happened. We will not punish him. Tanya? She was the most beautiful woman I had ever seen. Both my brother and I were in love with her. We both tried to win her heart. I failed and thought that I would spend the rest of my life with no one. It was not until last year that my wife, Margareta, and I were married, and my secretly broken heart was mended. Federico? Some thought of my brother Federico as a harsh man, but those of us who knew him could see that he was simply governed by the same prides and passions that rule all gypsies. I don't think I'm supposed to say that word. I'm sorry if that offended anybody. I'll come up with I'll think of something else to call them. Accepted? We have always been subject to the prejudices of others. We are called thieves and verse. But we are a people that only wish to play our music and dance and live in peace. I thought the people here understood this. Died out? We people are a people who live to wander, but there are fewer and fewer places where we are welcome. We are victimized by the ancient hatreds that have plagued our kind since the days of ancient Sosaria. Margareta? My wife is a wise woman who has some of the necessary talents to see the future. Thou shouldst speak with her. And what do you think of the Fellowship? Sasha will have to decide if he wants to stay with his people or return to the Fellowship. I believe he will make the right choice. Mayest thou have much fortune in thine endeavors. Okay, so these nomadic people have set up shop in Minoc and seemed to be ostracized. Whoops. Can we go in? Ooh. No, I don't feel right stealing from them. Let's see what you got, though. Nothing. 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 What was in my face, Red? I don't need your food. Is that... Oops. You see a young... a young traveling lad. He is wearing a Fellowship medallion. His eyes look down and his expression is one of extreme sorrow. Name? My name is Sasha. Job? I am too young to have a job. I am a traveler as my parents were travelers. I am also a member of the Fellowship. What do you think of the Fellowship? The Fellowship is a society of spiritual seekers who strive to reach the highest levels of human potential, and to share this philosophy freely with all people. The Fellowship was formed 20 years ago by Batlin with the full approval and support of Lord British. For the past week I have been away from home doing work for the Fellowship. Philosophy? Fellowship... Excuse me. Does that want to join? No. Oh, well perhaps that... Oh no, gets me every time. Travelers. I have returned to be with Margareta and Yergi to grieve for my parents. They did not approve of my joining the fellowship, but I know that they were concerned out of their love for me, just as I loved them. Yurgi? He was my father's brother. He is a good man and wise. Now he is the leader of our people. He will do what is right for us. Margareta? She is very wise and knows many things, but when I asked her if I should go back to the fellowship or stay with them, she did not answer me. Tell me about your parents. My parents, Federico and Tanya, were murdered. I do not know why anyone would want to harm them. The words choke out of the boy. Suddenly he is overwhelmed by grief and is unable to speak further. Sorry, kid. Murders? It happened at the sawmill in Minoc. Excuse me. The sawmill. You see a stern but friendly-looking man dressed in military fashion. As you watch him, you get the feeling he is sizing you up as well. It's not at all what his profile, what his picture looks like. Seems quite jovial, in fact. Name? I am Jacker, named after a great general from the ancient times of Cesaria. Welcome to Minoc. I guess you're the trainer. What do you know about Minoc? Ours is a city of commerce, although lately its primary trade seems to be gossip and envy. Before these murders, the latest local scandal had been the statue to be built of Owen, the shipwright. Owen? I've known Owen as long as anyone in this town. Several years ago, the 3 ships that he built sank. The brother of Carl, one of our more colorful local residents, was killed. No investigation was ever made into the cause of the sinkings, but Owen once confided to me that he secretly blamed himself. He started drinking heavily and eventually took up with the fellowship. Yeah, tell me about the murders. I suspect the killer, or killers, are from out of town, and probably long gone by now. There has not been a local murder for some time before today. Our fair measure of prosperity has made the people here mostly tolerant of each other. That is why the travelers settled here. The apparent lack of motive is puzzling. Thou wouldst do better to ask Karena. She is a good friend with them and would know more about them than I. Gone? I doubt that anyone in our community is the killer. If the stranger, or strangers, involved were to remain for long after the crime, they would soon be revealed. Therefore, the killers are no longer in town. Job? Perhaps that is something in which we speak in a more appropriate time. Right now, our concern should be to discover who could have been responsible for the 2 murders. That would have just been discovered in William's sawmill. Okay. You don't have anything else to say? No. Whoops. Nope, supposed to be bye. Bye. You see a stealthy-looking woman dressed all in green. There is a wicked grin on her face. Name? I answer to Karena and to nothing else. Job? I am a teacher in Minoc, along with Jacker. What do you know about the murders? Shocking! Such things do not normally happen here. It well proves the value of knowing how to defend oneself. Tell me about Jacker. He is quite an able trainer in his own right. Not as skilled as myself, obviously, but I do think he is cute. Though I bid thee, do not tell him that I spoke of this. It would only encourage him. Tell me about Minoc. Minoc was usually busy, but quiet. Then our town was bothered by this nonsense over Owen's monument, and now these murders. Monument? I understand it is to be 30 feet high and will display our local shipwright as he holds aloft a sextant. Thou wouldst not believe a thing as benign as this could create such trouble. What sort of trouble? It would seem the increase in hostilities amongst the fair citizenry over our shipwright's monument has filled much of the local populace with a burning desire to acquire combative skills. Business has never been better. It was very eloquent of you. Hostilities? Everyone in town is all up in arms about this and that, but surely others would know more of these local politics. I care not. Tell me about the murders. Oh, right. We already did that. How did I come back up? Teacher. Our establishment is now closed. Please come by during business hours. Tell me about the travelers. Federico, the leader of them, and his wife, Tanya, were good people. Why, the worst thing I ever knew either of them to do was a simple prank. Prank? Once Federico threw a rock through the window of the local fellowship branch. Oh well, I thought it was amusing. I like you, Karena. Farewell. May thy journeys be interesting ones. Okay, what's over here? Ooh. You see a handsome craftsman with an intense, piercing gaze. My name is Gladstone, my lord, at thy service. Job. I am a glass blower and a sculptor. I make mostly bottles and bowls. But in my time I have constructed all manners of statuary out of glass as well. Statuary, excuse me. Tell me about Minoc. There is active commerce here in Minoc, sufficient to keep the Artist Guild financially solvent. But in recent weeks I have come to fear we may not keep it going for much longer. Unlike the Fellowship or Owen's Monument, we do not have much political power. Now other events make our troubles seem less important. Do you mean the murders? Surely thou hast heard about the murders of Frederico and Tanya. Murders? I shudder to think such foul deeds are so freely committed in our fair town. Art thou investigating it? I wish thee all success in tracking the culprit. I barely knew Frederico and Tanya, but I did meet their son Sasha once. What did you think of Sasha? He befriended Sira and stayed the night with us once. He seemed like a nice young man, but misguided. Power? The Artist Guild is taxed mercilessly by the Britannian Tax Council. Even in our best year, it is a struggle to make ends meet. It seems that we are not considered important enough to be given an even chance. What do you think of the monument? Owen, the shipwright, is commissioning a statue of himself to be built in the center of town. The Artist Guild decided to have nothing to do with this foolishness, of course. But just the word of this statue has spread, and now orders are coming in from all over Britannia. Interesting marketing move, Owen. Merchants want to have a ship built by the famous Owen, master shipwright of Minoc. Statue? I fear we have grievously miscalculated by thinking that if we boycotted the statue it would not be built. It seems all the talk of it has made Owen into some sort of bizarre legend around this area. And the bloody statue hasn't even gone up yet. But that, I fear, is not the worst of the situation. What's the worst? Once the statue is built, orders for shipbuilding are bound to increase even more. It won't take long before all local commerce will become affected by it. Owen will be purchasing more of the local resources, which will cause prices to rise, especially at the sawmill. And that will surely force the Artist Guild into bankruptcy. The Artist Guild? The Artist Guild is a group of local craftsmen. We sell our wares here in Minoc. While we are organized as a guild of equal members, I am tentatively the guild head. You blow glass? I regret that I do not have any of my work for sale at present. Like our other artists, I have a backlog of orders that will keep me busy for the foreseeable future, but there are several examples of my work of which I am most proud in the guild hall on display. If thou art interested, please have a look at them. And what do you think of the Fellowship? We do not get along very well with those people. I believe we have been unofficially marked as the enemies of the Fellowship ever since all of the members of the Artist Guild refused Eleanor's invitation to join. They dislike us because they consider us to be indisposed towards unity. Okay, well, bye. Good journey, my friend. And we're actually going to end things right here before we investigate what happened. As you can see from the logs here, this is the sawmill, and that's why all of the townsfolk are here. So before we dive into that, we'll end things off so we can start it off fresh with it next time. See you then.